Lesson 14, Part 1, Pluperfect Indicative. The pluperfect is the last main verb tense of Greek. It only shows up in the indicative, no participles or infinitives. Remember that the English has three perfect tenses: the past perfect, such as I had gone, the present perfect, I have gone, and the future perfect, I will have gone, and we viewed them here. The pluperfect corresponds to the English past perfect. In English, I have gone is a present perfect. I had gone is a past perfect. The present perfect indicates that at the present time, an action is already completed. The difference between the present perfect and the pluperfect is that the pluperfect is an action that is already completed before a past event, not a present one. When I was 6, I had already learned how to write in cursive. This sentence shows us that at a point in time in the past, when I was 6, an action was already complete. I had learned to write in cursive. So here's an example in Greek, sesosmai. This is perfect passive indicative. I have been saved in regards to right now. That's a present perfect. Here's a past perfect or a pluperfect. Esesosmain, pluperfect passive indicative. I had been saved in regards to a past event. So for example, when I got baptized, I had already been saved. The pluperfect is pretty rare in the New Testament, but it does occur 90 times. For comparison, the present indicative appears approximately 5,600 times, the imperfect indicative 1,700 times, the future indicative 1,600 times, the aorist indicative 6,000 times, and the perfect indicative 850 times. So not nearly anywhere close to any of these other ones, not even a tenth as much as many of them, but it does occur 90 times in the New Testament. The pluperfect active indicative equals augment plus fourth stem plus epsilon iota theme vowel plus secondary A endings. Now, if we think about this for a moment, the pluperfect is a past tense and it's indicative, so we expect an augment and we expect secondary endings. It's active, so we expect A endings. It's a perfect active, so we expect a fourth stem. The only thing unusual is this epsilon iota theme vowel. Now, the pluperfect middle passive indicative is, again, just about what we would expect. We have an augment. We have a secondary endings because it's a past tense. We have B endings because it's middle passive. We have the fifth stem because it's a perfect middle passive, pluperfect, of course, but perfect middle passive goes on fifth stem. And just like the other fifth stems, it doesn't have any theme vowel. You'll notice that these forms are very similar to the perfect forms, except that since this is a past tense, it is a secondary tense and has an augment and has secondary endings. And that the theme vowel in the active is epsilon iota instead of alpha. There will still be reduplication in the fourth and fifth stem, except for the exceptions, and there will be a kappa in the fourth stem, just like we've seen before. These are the same stems that we've already seen. We'll translate the pluperfect active indicative with had blanked, such as had walked or had gone. The pluperfect middle would be had blanked for himself, such as had eaten for myself. And the pluperfect passive will be had been blanked, such as had been baptized. So for example, we've got this one here, Pepi Stuke-san. They commended them to the Lord in whom they had believed. Now, unfortunately, occasionally these will occur without the epsilon augment at the beginning. That does happen sometimes, but we do at least here still see the epsilon iota. And we've got the proper endings that we would expect for this. Now, oida is a bit irregular with the added augment. It looks like this. So we get adon, ades, ade, adamen, adate, adason. And we're going to translate oida as a simple past in the pluperfect, such as I knew or they knew. So summary, the pluperfect corresponds to the English past perfect. The pluperfect is an action that is already completed before a past event. Pluperfect active indicative equals augment plus fourth stem plus epsilon iota plus secondary A endings. Pluperfect middle passive indicative equals augment plus fifth stem plus secondary B endings. We're going to translate the pluperfect active indicative with had blanked, such as had walked or had gone. Pluperfect middle will be had blanked for blank self, such as had eaten for myself. Pluperfect passive will be had been blanked, such as had been baptized.